This is a cylinder head off of a 3406B Caterpillar. This is a DT466E that we are going to repair the cam bearing holes in. It spun a cam bearing. We're going to repair this engine block on the line bore machine. That crankshaft right there is out of a ISX Cummins. This is a 4236 Perkins. It's one of a pair that goes in a boat down in Panama City. It's a charter boat that you take deep sea fishing. It's got a pair of these engines in it. This cylinder head is off of a 3412 Caterpillar. This little bitty engine here, there's my foot. This little engine here is a Mitsubishi out of some type of a commercial mower. And this cylinder head here is a 6068 John Deere. This big tall head here, a double overhead cam, is an ISX Cummins. This is kind of work that I do. This is a 3126 or C7 Caterpillar. And then I've got all these connecting rods here to rebuild. These are out of a 3400 series cat, either 3406, 3408, or 3412. But this is my shop. I mean, we got a lot of automotive cylinder heads, but we prefer doing mainly diesel. Cylinder head machine. Lights are off back in the back. We got boring machines, Magnaflux, a couple of different mills. But this is what I do. This is my shop and my partner's. I'll finish filming this engine later. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to show you a couple of things right quick before I get started. This crankshaft right here, that's out of a D9 Caterpillar. That's a photograph of the engine. That's another photograph of it on a big trailer. That engine come out of a D9 Caterpillar dozer. That engine weighs 8,500 pounds dry weight. That's one of the biggest engines I've ever built. And then this engine here is out of a 05 Mustang. Motorcycle heads. And this little red engine, or burgundy, this is out of a MGA, British Leyland. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, the head bolts are what they call torque and to yield. Torque them and then you turn them a quarter turn, just like the rod bolts. First you go 66. On this engine, the valves adjust 10 on the intake and 25 thousandths on the exhaust. What I do when I adjust the valves, firing order is 1342 on this engine, is I watch the rocker arms. And you can watch, this rocker arm is going down. I'm going to back it up. You get right here, this one goes down. That's what you call the rocking position. At that point, this is number 4, you can actually adjust number 1. Exhaust is 25. These feeler gauges are what they call go-no-go gauges. This feeler gauge is 12 thousandths thick here and 10 thousandths thick on the end. This one is 27 thousandths thick here and 25 thousandths thick on the end. That makes it where you can stick the feeler gauge in there, and if this part will go and the other part won't, you're good. One is adjusted. Now I'll actually rotate the engine a half a turn. And I think number 2 will come up next on the rocking position. Alright, the exhaust valve is closing, the intake valve is starting to open. At that point, I can adjust this valve. This one is rocking, this one is adjustable. Rotate the engine again, and number 1 will rock. Watch again. The exhaust valve closes, intake valve opens. Right there, and you go back here and you adjust 4. the engine again, and 3 will rock. Intake valve, exhaust valve, intake valve is breaking open there. You're just 2. Intake valve. Alright, the valves are now adjusted. At this point, we'll install the valve covers. Got a new rubber gasket installed on them. They just sit right on here. You put a new rubber gasket here and tighten them down. Okay, now I'm going to install the intake cover. Next is the return fuel line. have these little brass ferrules like this that go on the injectors. I didn't show installing the injectors, I didn't think about it, but one of these goes on each injector. Alright, next piece is the fuel lines. Now you can understand why I left them 3 bolts out of the intake plate. I'll tighten the lines on this pump side, but I will not tighten them on the injector side. I'll start them so that when we're trying to crank the engine, we can get fuel out of the lines and clear the lines before we actually crank it. Get fuel coming out of all 4 lines first. That's all I really have time for today. That's pretty much the engine. I've got a few items left. I got to put the exhaust on and water pump, the starter, and we'll be ready to crank this thing. I will do another video of the engine running. This is what I do for a living. Thank you, Alabama Headhunter. This is my shop in Leeds, Alabama. There's our sign. All right, we'll talk with you later.